In 1991, a foreign giant named Coca-Cola suddenly enters India and directly attacks India's king of cola and his baby, Thums Up.
After a 17-year gap, on October 24, 1993, Coca-Cola made its official return to India.
अबे फ्लावर पॉट ठंडा मतलब कोका कोला.
That Coke was back in a big way.
He watches helplessly as Coke plays an evil move, forcing him to sell Thums Up to it and leaving him in tears. But why did Indians refuse to give up on Thums Up, forcing the global giant to bring it back and accept that it will always be number 2 in India? This is the story of the Desi Cola that beat the world's most powerful beverage brand.
Thums Up is one brand that has maintained pole position in the cola category.
तूफान.
Surpassing global brands like Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
Became $1 billion brand in India.
Thums Up in itself has made India proud in many ways.
After dominating the Western markets for decades, Coca-Cola saw a huge opportunity in the newly independent India.
At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom.
While India did have some local players like Dukes and Parle's Gluco-Cola, they were no match for Coca-Cola's deep pockets. Along with their unmatched secret taste, Coca-Cola spent heavily on marketing and distribution, reaching every corner of India to become the biggest cola brand within the next 2 decades. And Coca-Cola thought it would continue to dominate India, but it had no idea it was about to become a victim of Indian politics. In 1977, a new government was formed in India by the Janata Dal Party. The people lost trust in Indira Gandhi due to the emergency.
भाइयों और बहनों, राष्ट्रपति जी ने आपातकाल की घोषणा की है.
And it was the first time after India's independence that Congress had lost power. The Janata Dal Party was a true nationalist, and its industries minister, George Fernandes, was strictly against foreign companies. So Fernandes decided to make an example out of Coca-Cola, the ideal target as one of the biggest MNCs operating in India back then. Under the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, he made 2 demands that Coca-Cola never expected. The first one was to transfer 60% of equity to Indian entities, reducing its ownership to 40%. Coca-Cola was quite reluctant to do this because complete ownership was crucial for its business model. But the real deal breaker was the second demand. He asked Coke to reveal its decades-old secret formula, which the company had historically protected with extraordinary secrecy, and that was non-negotiable for them. So Coca-Cola refused and instead left India in 1977 in a huge win for Fernandes and the newly elected government.
The Indian government has stopped the import of Coca-Cola concentrate. Coke's problem is the Indian government's demand that the American company turn over 60% secret formula.
But at the same time, one man was working on one of the biggest biscuit factories in India by the name Parle-G, completely unaware that he was going to change the way Indian drinks cola forever. Coca-Cola's sudden exit left a huge vacuum, and several brands sprang up to capture the opportunity. The government itself launched 777 Cola in 1977, a patriotic alternative to Coca-Cola that promoted domestic products. Pure Drinks, who was the bottler and supplier of Coca-Cola, started their own brand of Campa Cola. And among these players was Ramesh Chauhan from the house of Parle that had made hits like Parle-G, Monaco and Poppins. He had been interested in the flavored soda business long before Coca-Cola's departure. In 1971, he launched a lemon-lime flavored soda named Limca. It was tailored to Indian taste buds and became quite popular. And Parle's orange flavored soda named Gold Spot was launched in 1952, which remained the leader in its segment. So when Coca-Cola left in 1977, he saw it as the perfect opportunity to capture the cola space. He started experimenting to invent the right cola recipe. The initial trials were horrible, where people said it tasted like a cough mixture. But he spent over a year preparing the right recipe, using Indian spices and ingredients like cinnamon, cardamom and nutmeg, trying different samples every day. And the result was mind-blowing. He came up with a drink that was uniquely Indian. It was spicier, fizzier and stronger than Coca-Cola, but not overpoweringly sweet. And he decided to call it Thums Up, without the letter B to make it unique and catchy. However, the real battle for Ramesh had just begun. A much bigger challenge was convincing people to try this new unknown cola. And he went all guns blazing in that arena. He spent an estimated 20 lakh rupees during the launch to promote it, which was an unbelievably huge amount in 1977. Ramesh Chauhan knew the Indian public very well. So he tapped into the two things that were a religion for Indians. The first was Bollywood. He made strategic collaborations and got thumbs up placed in movies. In almost every fight scene of a Hindi movie from the 1980s, you will see crates of thumbs up in the background. And the second one was cricket. Thumbs up started popping up in almost every cricket match. And it wasn't just limited to Team India. Thumbs up featured players across different teams, with the ads proving that thumbs up is a drink beyond rivalry. And then came the iconic tagline, Taste the Thunder. It instantly turned thumbs up into a man's drink, strong, less sweet, and endorsed by actors and cricketers. And the result was beyond imagination. By 1991, thumbs up had become a near monopoly with an 85% market share of the Indian cola market. And Ramesh Chauhan was the king of cola. However, just when he thought thumbs up was undefeatable, the government once again took a drastic step that no one expected. But this time, its victim was going to be Indian brands instead of foreign MNCs. By 1991, the government realized that by refusing foreign players to enter and invest in India, it was hurting itself. India was on the brink of a disaster with just about $1 billion in forex reserves, barely enough to last 3 weeks of essential imports. So led by Dr. Manmohan Singh, India was liberalized and its economy opened to foreign players, hoping they will bring money with them and invest it in India's growth.
Our economy, polity and society have to be made extraordinarily resilient and alert if we are to take full advantage of the opportunities and to minimize the risks associated with the increasing globalization of economic processes.
And this news woke up a sleeping giant who had long left India. Coca-Cola decided to make a comeback in 1993. And this set the stage for the biggest battle in the Indian beverage industry, with Ramesh Chauhan's Thumbs Up as the ruling king with an 85% share on one side and the world's biggest cola brand Coca-Cola on the other side. And for a giant like Coca-Cola, this is not a big deal. It is one of the largest companies globally, which has earned billions of dollars over the years and given handsome returns to investors. Even Warren Buffett is famously seen carrying a Coca-Cola can almost everywhere. But most people don't know the secret reason behind it. He has consistently been one of Coca-Cola's biggest shareholders for over 30 years, earning almost $1 billion in annual income just from its dividends. However, most Indians believe they can't invest in these ultra blue chip US stocks. But that is not true. Anyone can invest in US stocks from India using apps like IND Money, an app that allows you to invest in US stocks within minutes. You can own a part of the stock as well instead of buying full stocks through fractional investing. So you can start investing with as little as 100 rupees. And it also has a secret advantage of rupee depreciation against the dollar. If the rupee weakens, you can get more dollars for what you invested. You can open your US stocks account for free. All you need to do is go to the app, complete a simple KYC process within minutes, and you will have a US stocks account ready without any account opening charges. But it is not limited to stocks. You can also invest in ETFs and even start SIPs from as low as 500 rupees per month. And the app is loaded with useful tools and features like automated tax reports, investor sentiment for US stocks, and even a dividend calendar. So if you want to invest in US stocks, be it Coca-Cola or Google, you can start using IND Money today. The link is in the description. Now, the re-entry of Coca-Cola in 1993 was not all. Pepsi had also re-entered India shortly before Coca-Cola in 1990. What followed next was a complete bloodbath. Coca-Cola announced its comeback in India in a grand fashion, starting with the historic city of Agra, where they painted the entire town Coke red and did a color parade throughout the streets. Backed by its deep pockets, it aggressively started expanding by pouring money into marketing and getting more retailers. The goal was to replace Thumbs Up, similar to how it replaced local brands in other countries. But what happened instead shocked Coca-Cola. Indians refused to buy Coke and continued demanding Thumbs Up. Even after Coca-Cola spent crores, Indians were still not willing to switch from their beloved homegrown brand. And for a brief moment, it looked like Ramesh Chauhan would retain the crown. However, then Coca-Cola made a diabolical move that stunned Ramesh and Pepsi. Soft drinks are made in bottling plants where they are manufactured and put into bottles. And Ramesh Chauhan's Thumbs Up had 62 bottling plants spread across India. However, Coca-Cola found a loophole in this setup. Out of the 62 plants, Ramesh Chauhan only had 4 that were owned directly by him. The remaining 58 were under franchises. So when Coca-Cola couldn't kill Thums Up's demand, it decided to kill its supply instead. It started buying out Thums Up's franchise bottlers with lucrative offers, one by one, convincing them to bottle for Coca-Cola instead of Ramesh Chauhan. And the result shocked him. Within a few months, Parle did not have Thums Up to sell despite a huge market demand. Finally, Coca-Cola made him an offer and he had no other option but to accept it. Ramesh Chauhan sold 5 brands to Coca-Cola in 1993 for about 240 crores. Gold Spot, Limca, Maaza, Citra and Thums Up. It was one of the toughest and most emotional decisions for Ramesh Chauhan, who openly cried while signing the deal at Coke's headquarters in the US. He was forced to part with his life's work, forced to give up his baby. But for Coca-Cola, this was a big win. And then it allegedly made a move that it has repeatedly denied over the years. Coca-Cola began strategically phasing out Parle's drinks and replacing them with its own brands. Gold Spot was replaced by Fanta, while Citra gave way to Coca-Cola Sprite. And Thums Up particularly saw minimal ads and reduced production. Coca-Cola thought that people would naturally switch to Coke when they couldn't find Thums Up. That's why shortly after the acquisition, Thums Up started disappearing from the market. But Coca-Cola had no idea that starving Thums Up was going to backfire terribly. Yes, people did switch to an alternative in the absence of Thums Up, but instead of Coke, their second choice turned out to be Pepsi. Coca-Cola had just served the market share to Pepsi on a silver plate. And Ramesh Chauhan was silently witnessing all of this from outside, smiling at how Coke was helping Pepsi grow. That was when it finally became clear to Coca-Cola. Indians were not going to give up Thums Up. So instead of resisting, they wisely turned Thums Up into their biggest strength. Coca-Cola embraced Thums Up and its tagline, Taste the Thunder. The result was extremely satisfying for Ramesh Chauhan. By 1998, 40% of Coca-Cola India's revenue came from Thums Up, while 17% came from Limca. Coke's share was just 23%. Coca-Cola continued making Thums Up even bigger, making top celebs and icons the face of the brand over the year. Its ads cemented its image as the macho drink of India. That's how Thums Up became a billion-dollar brand, as it continues to outsell both Coke and Pepsi by miles even today. As for Ramesh Chauhan, Thums Up was not his last chapter. Within 2 years of selling, he set out to build yet another brand, unaware that he would once again dominate India in the drink sector. In 1995, he noticed a problem every Indian had: getting pure drinking water outside their homes. The situation was so bad that people were buying soda when they were thirsty. So he introduced them to Bisleri. While most other players sold 1-liter bottles, he also launched an easy-to-carry 500 ml bottle along with 20-liter containers for the masses. And then he used his expertise and connections to reach every corner of India, turning Bisleri into India's largest bottled water brand today. He became the proud creator of India's favorite aerated and non-aerated drink. Please hit subscribe if you made it this far so you keep getting new videos. If you want to benefit from the growth of US giants like Coca-Cola, don't forget to check out I&D Money. The link is in the description. If you like this video, I recommend watching this one next. Until I see you in the next video, goodbye.